In this episode, Mandy tries to prove she's financially responsible after Jim and Georgie call out her poor spending habits. Connor's new girlfriend needs a place to stay. After receiving the check for her TV appearance, Mandy was much happier. She mainly depends on Georgie's income from the auto repair shop to support the family because her employment at the diner hardly covers the expenses. In the 1990s, when Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is set, adult children returning home to save money wasn't as prevalent as it is today. Given that having an unplanned child is a contributing factor in her predicament, Mandy likely feels ashamed or embarrassed about her inability to support herself financially. Therefore, receiving that money is very important to her. Even though it's not quite enough to get her and her family out of that house, she earned it and it offers her some breathing room. I could totally see why she immediately planned a spa day after receiving the check. I have been so impoverished that I have been unable to purchase any extras. Since Chinese cuisine was a luxury I couldn't typically afford, my first instinct if I received a bonus check or had an extra $5 at the end of the month was to go out and get it. Like Jim, financial guidance publications never consider the psychological effects of poverty when urging readers to save money. After months of hardship, Mandy needed to be able to pamper herself, even though it would have made more sense to put that check into savings for their own place. Jim sought to control Mandy's spending, which was bad enough, but he somehow made her self-care into a lack of gratitude for all that her parents had done for her. He should have asked her to pay the rent or else express gratitude for his financial assistance, but by including Georgie in this dispute, he made matters even worse. Jim made it his problem, but Georgie didn't mind that Mandy used her money for a spa day. Georgie and Mandy got into a little altercation as a result. It was an argument that didn't need to happen and wouldn't have if Jim hadn't stepped in. But thankfully, this pair didn't appear to be in danger of breaking up for dramatic reasons yet. Even so, the commercial clip sequence where they mimicked one another was more hilarious than it first appeared to be. Georgie, how about giving Mandy that? Jim, I am unable to. She's learning a lesson from me. Georgie, by tricking her into believing she is paying rent that she isn't. Jim would have been at fault if things had turned out even worse than they did. In addition, his obstinacy in this matter led me to concur with Audrey, even though I rarely support her. Well done, Jim. I'm not suggesting Jim has no right to feel the way he does about Mandy not paying the rent or any of the other bills. He should have told her about his feelings, but instead he used that rent check to play games. The scene in Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1 Episode 18 where Audrey and Mandy were attempting to put Cece to sleep was my favorite. Mandy and Audrey don't spend much time together as mother and daughter. Most of the time they are arguing or ignoring one another. A small amount of assistance goes a long way. This time, however, Audrey was well aware of the weariness that comes with attempting to raise your kids without receiving compensation for the labor you performed for them. Audrey put Jim in his place with a follow-up chat. In addition to raising her kids, she most likely worked really hard to make sure dinner was ready when Jim arrived home and to keep up with housework and laundry. Additionally, she had to use all of her imagination to direct Connor appropriately because one of her children was neurodivergent at a period when nothing was known about such things. Jim also had the gall to categorize all that labor as staying home and playing with the kids, something that many men of the day did and some still do today. On his day off, he deserved to wake up at 5 in the morning to look after his granddaughter. I hope he gained some knowledge. I often gripe about the improper usage of Connor, but this story nearly made up for it. In Season 1, Episode 18 of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, Connor wasn't the target of any jokes. He had his own tale and was a powerful one. The conversation about masking made it apparent that Connor has autism, even though the comedy has never explicitly stated this. Many neurodivergent persons, including those with autism, have to hide their weird behaviors in order to fit into the neurotypical box that others expect them to be in. It's tiring to spend hours each day repressing all of your instincts because those around you won't accept them, and Connor is correct. Even though Connor would have been right in feeling worn out due to his introverted nature, I'm glad Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1 Episode 18 addressed this element of neurodivergence. Being social for too long might sap some people's energy, and that's perfectly acceptable. In any case, I thought this was the clearest explanation of the masking phenomenon I had ever seen, and I really enjoyed it. I really adored how Chloe encouraged Connor to be himself around her and fully accepted his odd behaviors. People with autism and other neurodivergent conditions don't always receive that gift.